It's hard for all of us to get your life to all come together at once. I remember when I got out of college, I didn't have any money, and you finally get all your bills paid, and your car breaks down. You're like, oh, I don't have $600. Then you get the $600 for your car, and something else breaks. It's hard. And then you get older, and it's like, okay, you finally get a boss you like, the marriage is going great, and one of your kids gets in trouble. You got to bail them out of something. It's hard to get your life to come together. I was thinking about Samuel L. Jackson, the great actor. He was acting in the 70s, but then he got Pulp Fiction, and he got a red-hot director and a perfect co-star and an amazing script, and they got real money, and it all came together. The critics loved it. You loved it. I loved it. The box office was great. It's an all-time top 20 film. It all came together. They've been acting since the 70s. It's hard for it to all come together. 16 years in the NBA tunnel. And last night, Chris Paul finally, it all came together. Think about the Clippers. He goes to the Clippers, and he carried them. Yet it was Blake Griffin, who still can't shoot. Blake Griffin, he could shoot a little. That everybody loved Blake Griffin. He was flashy. He was jumping over cars and slam dunk contests. Everybody loved Blake. It's Blake's team. DeAndre Jordan was always chirping at Chris Paul. Yet his entire offensive NBA career comes down to lobs from Chris Paul. But he was always chirping. DeAndre Jordan was chirping. And they had the worst owner. And they were embarrassingly cheap. Same town as the Lakers. Never got the respect. The Clippers never had a 50-win season, ever. Chris Paul arrived, they had 5 straight. And yet every time they lost, he got blamed. He was like an A-plus actor who signed up for a low-budget film. And because the low-budget film didn't win the Oscar, it's Chris Paul's fault. No, the only reason you watched the film was Chris Paul. That's the only reason you pay any damn attention to the low-budget film was Chris Paul. But every time the Clippers lost, well, he didn't win the Oscar, didn't win the title. Donald Sterling owned the team. You think you're going to win titles? That's why Phoenix is great. They were desperate. They needed direction. And they're like, Chris Paul, that's exactly what we need. He comes and they deliver. Phoenix had the worst record in the NBA for 9 years. Here comes Chris Paul. They're in the finals. And I got to tell you something. Feeling underappreciated is a very powerful thing for men and women, boys and girls, young and old, black, white, Republicans, liberals. It's very powerful to feel underappreciated. It's why Tom Brady left New England. It was not the money. We talk too much about money. It's why Aaron Rodgers is pissed at Green Bay. Not the money. It's why Russell Wilson went public in Seattle. It was not the money. It was, come on, man. I'm carrying the load here. Give me some help. Can I have a say? But at least with Aaron Rodgers, at least with Russell Wilson, at least with Tom Brady, their value is understood. We understand their value. But Chris Paul had the double whammy. Not only was he underappreciated, he doesn't even get nominated for MVPs. We don't even understand his value. I mean, even Clipper fans, poor Clipper fans didn't, they'd lost so many games, they'd won so infrequently, they didn't even understand that Chris Paul was the key to the franchise. For years, they thought it was Blake Griffin. Everybody's, Blake Griffin can jump over a Kia. That's the guy. He could not shoot when he was a Clipper. Can shoot a little bit now. And so last night for Chris Paul, this season for Chris Paul, he finally got the director and the script and the co-star and the budget and the critical acclaim and the box office. Finally, after all these years, he got a coach who had him before and gets him. He's got 2 dependable wings. I love Jay Crowder. Even on bad nights, I love Jay Crowder. He's got a true shooting guard, so when he passes, he gets credit for the assist. He's got a guy at the rim in DeAndre Ayton who loves lobs, and God, there's nobody better than delivering those than Chris Paul. It is hard in life for young people. You're out of college, you got no money, you're scraping by, you finally get the bills paid, you finally get the refrigerator full, and your damn car breaks down. And it's a $647 bill, and mom and dad, they don't have it either. I appreciate, because I know how hard it is You ask anybody in the entertainment field to get it all together. You got the receivers, but the O-line stinks. You got the running game, but you got no perimeter speed. That was Brady in New England. To bring it all together, even the special teams are good and the coach is good. That's Chris Paul last night. 16 years. Good for CP3. Great night. Great night for sports. Great sports moment. Let's talk about somebody who didn't play last night, Kawhi Leonard, because after the game, Paul George, to his credit, always goes to the mic, win or lose. Paul's always there, win or lose, great game, bad game. He's always there, deserves credit. But he did say after the game, if Kawhi Leonard was here, well, it would be a different series. Yeah, but Kawhi Leonard is never consistently there. Let's be honest about Kawhi Leonard. It's like when you go to a theme park. God, theme parks would be great if you didn't have to wait in line. But you always do, so you got to bake that in, right? At the end of a 7-hour day at a theme park, you're on rides for about 28 minutes. You're eating for an hour, and you're in line for 5 hours and 45 minutes. There is no theme park without lines unless you're like from Dubai and own a country or something. The rest of us have to wait in lines. You bake that in. And you bake in Kawhi Leonard is not always there. The last time Kawhi Leonard was physically reliable was 2016, 2017. And oh, by the way, he got hurt at the end of that year, too. The Spurs, knowing how great he was, the winning Spurs said, we're just done with it. We're just over it. Now, the Clippers historically are a losing franchise. Better in the last 10 years, but a losing franchise. So they're just going to hold on to him, and they should. But, I mean, the Spurs literally just said, we're exhausted. And as long as Kawhi is your centerpiece, you're not going to communicate well. You'll probably struggle at the end of games because that's when communication's key, and you're not always sure he's available. And by the way, lots of stars bring a little bit of I don't know if it's baggage, but a lot of stars have issues. I mean, Kevin Durant can be a little Aaron Rodgers. He can be a little prickly. LeBron is very controlling. No coach is safe. Chris Paul can be demanding, outspoken, go right after your stars. Kawhi Leonard, not really sure if Kawhi wants to play tonight or Kawhi is healthy. And that is part of who Kawhi Leonard is. But you can't give me the if Kawhi was here. Listen, if Kawhi was healthy, the Clippers would have been a number 1 seed last year, a number 1 seed this year. But he's not. In the 2 years with Kawhi Leonard as the centerpiece of the team, he's not the icing now, he's the cake. In 2 years, you've had 2 disappointing regular seasons, bumpy, 1 disaster in the playoffs, and whatever this year was in the playoffs, right? It feels a little hollow because when Kawhi misses all those regular season games, the payoff is he'll be ready for the playoffs. Like, that's why you allow it, right? Like, okay, he's going to miss some regular season games, but it is so he is fresh as a daisy in the postseason. But when you miss the 20 and you're not available here, it's hollow and it's exhausting. So 2 years, again, with Kawhi as a centerpiece, 2 disappointing regular seasons, 1 disaster in the playoffs, and whatever you label this as. Well, if Kawhi was healthy, if I was 6'9", I would have played college basketball at a really good school. I'm not. And if you could go to a theme park and there would be no lines in August, it would be so enjoyable. But instead, you're sweating your arse off, you're sitting in line for 45 minutes for a minute 9 of absolute gut-wrenching thrill. This is what the Clippers are going to be. Hard to figure out. A riddle wrapped in an enigma. If Kawhi's your guy and he's the cake, this is what it is. You're never quite sure what you get week to week and season to season. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.